Hi friends, welcome to the pharmaceutical industry channel. Today we will discuss about ICH Q3D guideline for elemental impurities. Elemental impurities are traces of metals that can found in finished drug products. Such impurities do not provide any therapeutic benefit to the patient. Since elemental impurities pose a risk to patient health due to toxicological effects, their levels in drug products should be controlled within acceptable limits. This is the periodic table of elements. Here we can observe four colors. Red color is for class 1 elements, golden yellow is for class 2A elements, and yellow color is for class 2B elements, and green color is for class 3 elements. For 24 elements, permitted daily exposure limits have been established on the basis of safety data. These elements are classified into three classes. Class 1 elements were cadmium, lead, arsenic, mercury. Class 2A elements were cobalt, vanadium, nickel. Class 2B elements were thallium, gold, palladium, iridium, osmium, rhodium, ruthenium, selenium, silver, and platinum. Class 3 elements are lithium, antimony, barium, molybdenum, copper, tin, and chromium. Elements in red color should be considered in the risk assessment. For all the classes, if the elemental impurities intentionally added during the manufacturing process of the API, risk assessment to be done. Even though the elemental impurities, if not intentionally added, require consideration in the risk assessment for oral, parenteral and in inhalation routes for class 1 and 2A. For class 2B elements, risk assessment is not required. In the class 3, for the elements which were in red color, requires risk assessment for parenteral and in inhalation routes. Risk assessment process is divided into three steps, that is identify, evaluate, summarize, control. In identification step, review API, excipient, drug product manufacturing process and container systems to identify known and potential sources of elemental impurities. In evaluation step, collect predicted or observed levels of elemental impurities and compare the data with the established PDE. In summarize control step, document the risk assessment and identify additional control requirements if required to ensure PDE is met. Identify the potential sources of elemental impurities. These impurities in drug product may originate from several sources like drug substance, excipients, manufacturing equipment, utilities, that is water, container closure system. Among these, more likely sources for drug substance and excipients. Less chance from manufacturing equipment, utilities and container closure system. There were two approaches, product approach and component approach. Drug product assessment approach is chosen if the informations from the component suppliers, literature survey, drug product manufacturing process and drug product container closure is not available. In product approach, main focus to be done on container closure system and elemental impurities in drug product. Component assessment approach is chosen if the informations from the component suppliers, literature survey, drug product manufacturing process and drug product container closure is available. In component approach, main focus to be done on drug substance, excipients, manufacturing equipment, utilities, that is water, container closure system. The drug substance is a key component that can contribute elemental impurities to the finished drug product. The most likely sources of elemental impurities in drug substance is the use of intentionally added metals in the form of metal catalyst. Elemental impurities in drug substance are from the metal catalyst, manufacturing equipment, processing aids, inorganic reagents, organic materials, water, solvents, primary container closure. One of the greatest challenges to performing an elemental impurity risk assessment for a drug product is to understand the potential contribution of the elemental impurities from excipients. Elemental impurities of concern for excipients would typically be class 1 and class 2A elements, potentially present at trace levels in the excipient. Source of the excipient. The origin of an excipient can have significant impact on the degree of risk associated with elemental impurities. The potential levels of elemental impurities from mined excipients pose a higher risk than synthetic excipients. Excipients from plants origin also pose a potential risk. Excipients that are manufactured without the use of metal catalysts present in the lowest risk of introducing elemental impurities to the drug product. Equipment compatibility assessment and qualification are sufficient to ensure that significant levels of elemental impurities are not leached from manufacturing equipment into the drug substance. Contributions of elemental impurities from drug product processing equipment would be expected to be lower than contributions observed for the drug substance. Under utilities, water used in the manufacture of both drug substance and formulated drug products is a potential source of elemental impurities. The source of water used in the drug substance manufacturing must meet the World Health Organization standard. As part of standard GMP, water quality should be routinely monitored and the purification system and storage of the water should not reintroduce elemental impurities. Under container closure system, one of the potential sources of elemental impurities is product packing, often referred to as container closure system. It is recognized that the probability of elemental leaching into solid dosage forms is minimal and does not require further consideration in the risk assessment. For liquid and semi-solid dosage forms, there is a higher probability that elemental impurities could leach from the container closure system during the shelf life of the product. The gathered information needs to be evaluated for each product. As the potential elemental impurity identification process is concluded, there are two possible outcomes. 1. The risk assessment process does not identify any potential elemental impurities. The conclusion of the risk assessment and supporting information and data should be documented. 2. The risk assessment process identifies one or more potential elemental impurities. For any elemental impurities identified in the process, the risk assessment should consider if there are multiple sources of identified elemental impurity or impurities and document the conclusion of the assessment and supporting information. Four risk assessment options for evaluation of elemental impurities. They were option 1, 2A, 2B represent the component based approach, which is the preferred method for the risk assessment, whereas option 3 represents the finished product based approach. Option 1, common permitted concentration limits of elements across all the drug products components for the drug product with maximum daily intake of less than 10 grams. Option 2A, common permitted concentration limits of element across all the drug product components for a drug product with a specified maximum daily intake. Option 2B, different permitted concentration limits of elements in individual components of the drug product with a specified maximum daily intake. Option 3, finished product analysis measure the concentration of each element in the finished drug product and compare to the PDE. When the level of an elemental impurity may exceed the control threshold, additional measures should be implemented to assure that the level does not exceed the PDE. Some of the examples were modification of the steps in the manufacturing process that result in the reduction of elemental impurities below the control threshold through specific or non-specific purification steps. Implementation of in-process or upstream controls designed to limit the concentration of elemental impurity below the control threshold in the drug product. Establishment of specification limits for the excipients or materials. Establishment of specification limits for the drug substance. Establishment of specification limits for the drug product. Selection of appropriate container closure systems. In drug product assessment approach, we should gather the information on drug product, analyze the representative lots of drug product if necessary, summarize all the available information and tabulate the elemental impurity concentration in the drug product. Then in the next step, compare to the PDE by using the option 3. If the output of the risk assessment, if elemental impurity not present, then no action is required. If elemental impurity less than 30% PDE also states that existing controls were adequate. If elemental impurity less than PDE but greater than 30% of the PDE, then some control strategy to be done. Modification of manufacturing process to decrease the elemental impurities. If elemental impurity greater than PDE, then we should evaluate the patient's safety and justification to be provided for regulatory authorities. In the component assessment approach, gather the information on components of the drug product and analyze the representative lots of drug product if necessary. Summarize available information, tabulate elemental impurity concentration in components of the drug product compared to PDE by using option 1, 2A or 2B. If the output of the risk assessment, if elemental impurity not present, then no action is required. If elemental impurity less than 30% of PDE, then existing controls were adequate. If elemental impurity less than PDE but greater than 30% of PDE, if elemental impurities less than PDE but greater than 30% of the PDE, then we should modify the manufacturing process to decrease the elemental impurities. If elemental impurity greater than PDE, then we should evaluate the patient's safety and establish a rationale to justify the high levels of elemental impurity and justification to be provided for regulatory authorities. Thank you for your attention. If you like this video, please subscribe to Pharmaceutical Industry channel.